Guys, I did this. So this took so much effort to do just for basically kind of fancy thing. So just because if you have a green screen that you cut out already, so how I did this was I'll explain. So basically, first you need a couple things. First, there's probably ways of doing it without Canva, but you need Canva to basically upload the video to remove the background and then download it as a GIF, and then with the background removed. So that's one thing you need, and then the other thing you need to do is basically create the file. So let me show you a file I made. So basically, first you need a file like this. So the um which is the alpha channel. So you take the alpha channel, create it, which is just black on white. Then on there you copy this, and then you basically um you basically create a bigger circle, put it behind here, and then you take that circle, and then you export that top circle and the black background, and then you cut out the black background with preview. I mean, not the black background. You cut out the circle, make sure it's a different color than the background. That's something that's easy to remove, something like white or gray. Then after that, you import that file back into Keynote, and then after that, um, you um take uh, you take the actual circle and then put it in the center and turn it black like so. So it will look like this. Then you export that with the moving background. And to have the moving background, you have to open up a new keynote and then create one that has a dynamic background, and then basically set the timer for 30 seconds slash a minute for however long you want. Hopefully it's a loop, and you can loop it indefinitely inside of OBS. From there, once you have the file saved, I save it 920 by 1080p, all files, and then you import it into here. Then you align it with and then after you um get it imported into here, then you put the black background on top of the video with the icon that was white, then that turned black. Then you import it. Then you export it as a. Then you export it as a MP4, or you export it as a. Um, you can export it as a MOV or a MOV file, and then you import it into Canva. Then Canva, you remove the background. You have to have the pro version of Canva, or there's other ways of doing it, but I would just use Canva because of I didn't feel like searching, and I didn't want to use Photoshop. But you could remove this part with Photoshop if you were, or any video editing software that isn't iMovie. But I just use Canva because it's on the site. It had other stuff I needed on there too. So you basically have it remove the background, and it does it in like about, for me, 5 minutes because of my internet to upload. And then once it gets finished, you download the you basically download the file as a GIF, and then that GIF, you can then have it save the transparency, so this part would be white and this part would be white. And then after that, you would then drag that file into into um Keynote again. Uh, Align it with the original file again. Just make sure it'll. You would then take this and lower down the opacity, just so you could basically align the edges up to the side, so it looks seamless. Then after that, remake the um opacity 100%, and then after that, duplicate side, slide, then delete the original file. I mean, delete the copied version, the non-copied version of the um, delete delete um the GIF on the main one that you duplicated, and on the duplicated one, delete the original circle. And then after that, you go to media, declick, um, play on all slides and on click, and then after that, go to file, export, and export as a movie. And you export as a movie, then once you export as a movie, you select 0000, and then 1080p, and ProRes 4x4x4x4. Press save, save it as a file you can remember, and then after that, you then um, go to um, just make so it's more doesn't make OBS work as hard, because right now it's at 54%. This is with just the two files on here, that these two files that are using up resources. It's just two files, and so using 54%. If you put those to a smaller file size, you can make it easier. Then after that, you go to shuttle encoder, and then after that, you export as VP9. VP9 is usable on here, and then after that, you drag and drop. You basically then take your camera. This happens to be my camera that I was doing test on. Right click, then filters. If you have a green screen, add the green screen um, to there. So right now, um, um, this is my uh, camera right here. So you go to here, filters. Right here, you add a blend, and then um, the blend would be face, which is happens to be the alpha channel I made, and then camera, which is my main camera. I'm just doing this as a showing. So from here, you go to add your camera right here. Here in filters, I'm just doing this because I have a green screen on this one, but wherever you have your green screen stored, like mine happened to be a green screen, I just didn't feel like remaking all this on there. So after that, you want to make sure your chroma key is active, green, and you can blur out your background. And so the blurring out the background basically allows you to put either an image or video in the back of your camera. But like this happens to be a video of just colors looping, and so that's why the green screen is here. And so after that, I have um this ring right here. So if you want to make it so it's not CPU heavy, or if you want to basically have it respond to something like recording or something, you can have this green. But I just used a multicolor one. Um, but if you're using green screen, you don't want it to be green. You want it to be something with like yellows or something, so it doesn't basically blend in with your background, or something neutral. So after that, you see that um, after I add the ring here, you have to put it in a file. Mine is called camera ring. So if I hide this, this is what it looks like. If I don't hide it, it's cuts out. So if I also unhide the background, so that's what it looks like. It's still a circle. And so if you're going into a tutorial video, for example, you don't have to have it enabled. And just to let you know, with the those two deactive, it's at 6.6%. If we go back to the sky, we're at 6.5%. So now if we activate the background, which it was on, we're at 16%, 45, 46%. Now if we go here, that's at 50%, 62%, which is still a lot of CPU usage, and that's with the literally like 15 tabs open and stuff like that. But if you wanted to do this properly, um, I would recommend. I recommend. I recommend. Um, Not doing this because of it was a pain. But if you want something cool looking, it looks cool. It's basically RGB, but um, it was a lot of work because of making this ring. So I'll go through the steps for you to show you how actually hard it is. So I won't show you the Canva part, but basically that part should be easy. So you have to make this ring right here. But this is the easy part. It's just black with white circle. That's easy. The hard part would be going new. Figure out which one you want to use right here or here for the image. So I use this one, and then I used um, I used this one, which is right. I use this one as the background. You delete this. You figure out what colors you want. So I went um, blue, and now I um, took close that. Then I went here, and then took the ink draw the eyedropper. Collect that blue. Then I go here, and then purple, like pinkish. And so that. Now right here, there we go. And now for the last one, this happens to be a good color scheme too. Geez. So, well, so if you want to change this one, I would change it to orange, but the yellow one's actually pretty good too. So take this one. You can make it the color you want. So I'm just making it these colors. actually pretty nice. So now, if you look at it properly, it looks like a whole bunch of random colors. And so now you can basically scale it. Like you can scale it like that. And you could basically angle it however you want. And that just looks like sine waves. Okay, so now from here, if you have something like this is what someone would want like this somehow. And then after that, you go to animate, and you have this automatic for you have it go for 30 seconds. So now you go to File, Export, and you export it as the movie. To export as a movie, go here, 0, 0, ProRes, 4 by 4 by 4 by 4, save. I will type in TEST. So once this finishes, so this is what I made, and it looks nice too, but I think that this looks actually nice too. It looks like a whole bunch of rainbow colors. So, and if you look at this one, that's uh that's the one I have been using, but I'm going to be replacing it with that guy. So now, if we lower OBS down, so we'll go to this one. So there you go. This is actually just because I'm basically just redesigning my stuff to make it full screen, so I'm just making it small. Because I'm going to be using 1080p for like a while anyway, so I'm making everything 1080p, like this guy. I made this one. But I'm just showing you the stuff while it exports. So as you can see, still creating movie. The reason it's taking so long is because I have so much stuff open on this Mac that it's not even funny. Like, uh, like, like some of this stuff can be closed, but like this guy had two of the same page open. Video player for some reason. Yeah, because I've been at this for a couple hours. So local. So yeah, just was going through stuff while it was doing this thing. We'll get a notification when it gets done. So it's almost there. So I'm just going through and deleting stuff. So I tried this, that didn't do what I needed to do. I tried multiple GIFs, like it says OBS can support GIFs, but GIFs don't work. It's either PNG or nothing. So this is what you would need if you're trying to create a file for Canva. This was just a another failed Canva project. All of these were pretty much failure except for this one because of once you get in Canva, you remove the black and you basically keep the white in there. And um, since you have a black icon because I mean a black circle because you added another one in there just so you could basically split it up. That's then you just remove it from information there. So yeah. Now it should be done. Yeah, there we go. That just toss in the garbage. Okay, so let's see. It didn't say. Wow. But basically, once you do all that and your Mac doesn't want to crash because of it's running too much stuff, like I'm probably hitting a storage limit right now. That's probably why. Because that's why I'm probably that's why I'm probably going super slow because of I have all of this stuff in my trash can that I have to delete, and so yeah, it's running a little slow. I was over 1,000 items that I just had in my folder. So now let's try. There you go. So there you go. The file made. So now, once you do that, let me open up Keynote again. Crash. So now you just open this guy, delete that. You get this one right here. The face you made already. So this is the alpha used. So basically, just get a circle, and put it like red, for example. I'm just using this one as an example, but you would use the files you already have. So hold shift to keep the circle. So I'm just using this as an actual template to see object list. Circle. So yeah, that's as close to circular as it'll get. Now we'll just turn this one white. And now we just turn the aspect ratio up. Now we just now just turn that up. Okay, so now after that you go to um, file, export, image. Then you save one of one as a PNG. We're just gonna name this let's see, TEST test. We'll just name it as test. Okay. Don't save that, but this we all gotta need again. So as you can see, there's a folder called test. So test is bigger folder. So now we just take this profile, go to match up tool. Now we take this right here and highlight everything in there. Press delete. Do one more time just for good measures. Delete and delete. It gets rid of any of the hidden white that will be shown. So now go file, save. So now back to Keynote. Now we just delete this. So now we just duplicate this. After that, you go here, you go to the image, and then you go to remove background. Now you have a movable file. Okay, let's go edit and remove. Okay, now you have an unmovable, you have a non-movable file. So now you go to now you do now you drag and drop this into here. Make sure this is the bottom layer. Take this, click movie, click start movie, click play movie across slides. So now that's done. Now you just take your file, and then you take your file test, for example, and then drag drop it. There you go. So you have a movable icon now. So after that, you press you go here, and if you press play, you can see movable background. Looks like it's circling. Now, since this is a circle, you basically take another circle and then you make it red. Then you make it transparent. After this, oh wait, my bad. So you make it red. Take a hold shift, stretch it out. All you gotta do is line it up. Okay, that's as much as you will get it. Now go here. Maybe take the opacity back to full. Now change it from red to black. And now you take this file, it goes gone now. So you have a full black file now that has a black color fill and a black image. So now, after that, you go File, Export, Export as movie. Then you go to here, 0, 0. And from here, you change this to 1.1 because it's on input 1 because we're not working with the second one yet. So now, after that, you press save. And now save it as st test test ring. So test ring. So now I'm gonna show you on like Canva just in case you wanna do it on Canva because of so this will take a little bit of time depending on your machine or depending on how much stuff you have open. I'll just close OBS for now because of so it only looks like this because I removed the file, but yeah, I removed the alpha, but I'm just gonna get rid of this one for now. And if you have a green screen, you're gonna wanna if you use it and you want to set it up so you can have a different screen for the thing. So now that's done. Okay, now before we finish with this guy, we're gonna go to File, New, Now, let me close OBS real quick because it's going to save it processing. So now, we'll go. I use this one because it has the colors that I use mostly. Let's just say I want it to go with something kind of like that, or I like that one, but let's see, I'm gonna go change this to pink. I'm gonna change this to yellow. Yellow. And this one to green. It's just an example. Sweet, and that's just coming up with something random. As you can see, that's pretty nice. So now after that, you basically go File, you go to here, which is Effect, click Change, change this to 60 seconds. Yeah, I would say 30 is fine. 30 would be perfectly fine as long as you put it on loop on OBS. You go there, go File, Export as as movie. Then you go to 0, 0. Then you go to Save. And so once, sorry, I'm falling asleep, so we're gonna name this. I'm trying to think of a name. Let's see. Test. Test background. So test background is what this is called. How about I say that I don't know what place I stored it at. So after that gets done, okay, we're done with Keynote for a little bit. Okay, so did I put it? I think it's in Documents folder. I don't know where it's at. Let's see. Oh, here it is. So now, with this guy, we have that. So we have all the files we need. So get rid of this. We have test, test ring, test, and test. So let's see. So now we just clean up stuff we've made. So now, the only other software we need are Canva or any software that can edit the video. You also need this shutter encoder. So now you open up Canva, and now you just take this guy and delete whatever you have in there. The trash. Trash. With trash. So now you basically take your folder, which is um, you take the this guy, the ring, drag it into there. It gets added. Once it gets added to Canva, it's right here. So now, oopsie. So now we have this guy here. Align it. Now, in order to like get this feature, you gotta have Canva um Pro. So you go click remove background. Once this gets to 100, it removes everything black. So while that's doing its thing, you probably want to go get a cup of coffee or something. So and it's at 68%. So basically, 83, and it's at 90%. It's 100%, and as you can see, it is gone. So now, if we take this and go like this, so now we'll go to share. Now we go to download. We'll change this to GIF. Save with transparent background. Download. Once that gets finished downloading, then your file's ready to go. Because it removed the white, because once you remove the background, it just leaves a white. So you gotta remove the white and basically replace it with transparency. So once that gets done, as you see, you have a ring. So basically, after this gets done, you have to do some other stuff. But after this, you'll be done with the web browser. So basically, my other projects I've been working on are my website. I've been working on getting this everything ready for Wise, because I have to finish setting up a Stream Deck, XL. My two Stream Deck Pluses are set up. My one Stream Deck XL is set up on all four computers, and the Stream Deck the MK2 I have to set up With one Excel, I have to finish putting icons on, which I have to make those ones. That's the longest. That's one of the longest parts I have to do. And and the only reason it basically hasn't got done yet because of I've spent the last couple days trying to fix my website because of the links for the old videos weren't working properly, so I had to reconfigure the website and I configured it on the new domain. Yeah. And it's almost done downloading. Sorry if I'm not really entertaining right this second. I'm so tired. I've been at this for like 3 days now. And I haven't had a good night's sleep in a while. Since at least Saturday. Because that's the last time I slept in my bed. Which was for an hour. So yeah. And downloading. There you go. The GIF is finally downloaded. So now let's close Canva and the web browser. Quit. Okay, so now that you see this, so if we take this now we go back into here. We just delete this one, duplicate this guy. So now, since we duplicate that, we take this GIF right here, and it's perfect fit over it. So now, if we play this, the GIF is like that. And you think, oh, we'll just leave it like this. No, if you leave it like this, you can't export the GIF. Because if you export the GIF, it would basically not work inside of OBS. So now, we'll take this, push shift, and then you want it a little bit lower. So it doesn't show anyway. Okay, so now, that's exactly like that. So now, once we go file export, so we take this and now we delete face.png. So we delete this. So now that's like that. So now we go file over here. Now we go over here to transition. Wait, no, we have to go to file. Like here, here. And now we go over to here. Click no fill. Because this is just blank. So now, after that, have it set to autoplay. Now we just go file, export, movie. We'll select from and get 2. Now we go here, 0, 0, 92 by 10p, 60, and all that stuff. Press save. Now we'll name this as the final test ring. This is just a temporary file name. So you let it export. So after it exports, this is when time comes. So you export it. So you export it final test. So test ring. So if you have test ring like this, it's black as you can see. If you have test ring right here, file test ring, it's also black. But here's where the magic comes in. So basically, if you open OBS, we'll just take any camera for now. It doesn't have to. It's not gonna be there for. So we make smaller. I really don't like the fact that I can't have this full screen. So now. I have to pick up another one. So there, as you can see, a ring that plays. So now, if we pay attention, we're at 15%. But so now we'll basically do the next part. Just make sure everything works. So test background. So if we do test background, okay, like this. Okay, now we go here, go to filter, not filter, no. We go to double click. Click close when active loop. Save. Close inactive loop. So now, it may just look like a green screen, but it's pretty interesting. So now what we'll do is we'll actually modify it. So normally, um, you don't want to get rid of that. So yeah, so now we'll get rid of this remove. So this is only for this specific file. So if we play this one, this is where all the interesting stuff is at right there. So right there is what not interesting, not interesting, not interesting, not really. Most of that stuff's interesting. So you want right about here, so which is 3 seconds, yeah, about 4 seconds, and have that on a loop. So now, this is when um you should have a video editor. I'm just going to use iMovie because that's what's on this computer right now. So now, ignore those. So basically, we'll take this, drop it in here, drop it in iMovie. Make sure it's at fit. Now we take this and go see where the file ends off. Good right here. Probably be good right there. To I would go split click. That's 6 seconds. So now we delete this. And now if we take this, and so we could do some stuff like we could add transition, so fade to black. Actually, no, cross blur would probably be better. So take this, do cross blur. So now if we do this, it will do that. So if we do go to white, it wouldn't look good. Or cross blur or cross dissolve would be better. Probably cross dissolve. Oh, I'll check, see. So now if we go here, let's try cross dissolve, see how that looks. That would look better. So yeah. So now we go file, share, file. Name it as test. Yeah, so 1920p. Let's go better quality. So if we go ProRes, it's 220 megs, so that's fine. So mauve, temporary background. So now, if we go here, temporary test background is right here. Because if we go here, so and it just does that every time it crosses off. Okay, so we're getting better files now. So now you can get rid of test background and or test so because you don't need test anymore, you don't need test background anymore, you just need temp background, and you don't need a ring unless you want to keep it. So now what you need to do is you don't need the GIF either, so you can delete that. So to keep the files you need handy, you just need 3 files now. So now all you need to do is go to your file or your folder, your software shutter encoder, and then you basically, when you go to shutter encoder, you take this choose function, go VP9, and then when you go to VP9, you can basically go for here. This is the one I would do first. Take that and then go to advanced feature, uh, enable alpha channel. And so we need to do that one, start function. And so when that one gets done, I'll show you an example of what it is. So 27%. Okay. So now, the only thing you need now is where those. So now you take this one. And once that gets done, you have all done. So now you're done with this. So now you don't need this, and you don't need this because you have the two files there and a WebM file, which is light on resources. So now you take this file. Now you take these files and put them somewhere where they would stay permanently. So I'm just putting them here because they're going to, because, so you want to name them something like, um, this one's going to be called, so this is called background. You want to name them something permanent. So I'm just going to call this test background. And so this will be called, rename this to test over over overlay, the test overlay, and now let's see, test alpha. There you go. So now those are the only things you need so far. So now you go into OBS like this one. So you go in OBS. You set up your green screen. However, if you're using a regular green screen or however you set it up, however you set up your camera. So this is my camera. So normally I would use this green screen right here, but I'm using this one. So with this, I just you click you wouldn't do this to your main camera. I'm just doing this for this camera because it's right here. Right here, you want to basically click the scene it's on, which this one happens to be camera. So click there at camera, at filters, and then chroma. So set your chroma for whatever screen you have. If you have a blue screen, set to blue. If you're green, green, magenta, magenta, white, white, black, black. But you can't be wearing any of those colors. For example, I'm not wearing any green, that's why I'm using a green screen. But it will remove anything green related. So now, then you put your similarities to whatever it is until it gets out most of the green, and the green is would get out if you have a lot of good lighting. So my lighting's okay, but there is a little green. You can see some over here, but that's can be fixed. Smoothing can also be fixed. Spill reduction color, you want to modify it to it fits the way you want it to. So now after that, you um add the chroma key. So so for the scene, you want to have this, and I'm going to be using circle number 2, which I made in the tutorial video. So after that, you go to where your folder that mine happens to be in test. So now you go to here, code filters. Then you want to create a new device, create a new image mask. Then you want to make an alpha mask color channel, and then you want to put it in the place you have your file stored. Mine happens to be stored in test, and so put alpha test alpha channel. So there. So if we go here, I think I messed up. Yeah, that's up. Alpha color. It's alpha channel. I think I messed up. Yeah, I messed up. Oh well, that's my fault. So yeah, let's see. Do I have it so? I think I do. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why I forgot stuff. So you remember when I said you should duplicate it? This is why you need to duplicate it because of you edit the alpha channel. You edit the other one. So make a file, save. You go file, export images. You call it. You set from desktop one. This is good. The name is getting changed. So basically, you would basically save it to whatever you can remember it as. So now, go here, take this, and now press copy. Well, you would be naming it whatever you want. I'm naming my test alpha. So if we go here, replace. As you see, there we go. So it'll be in test color, and it will look like this. So without the alpha color channel, it looks like this. With alpha color channel, it looks like that. So now you're done for there. Now you open OBS back up. You have your alpha right there. And so now, going back to the folder. So so now you want to go test the background. Test background will be put over at the top. So now you add it, then you click on the properties, you click on loop, then you put close after when inactive, and then done. You press OK. So now it will loop like that, but you don't see your face. So to basically fix that, you move this down one. So you have your background like that. And so you can make a more cohesive one if like you wanted to, but I just was kind of in a hurry. And this basically allows looping kind of seamlessly. You could probably do a little bit better. But now after that, you add overlay, test overlay. So at that, now as you can see, you have your icon in there. And so you have your little image there. A lot of work just for this, but now if you go into tutorial for me because specifically, I have it right here. So it won't look this small. It's this small because the interface is kind of zoomed in, but this is what it would look like, not like that. So this is how it will look. You can basically take this and modify it even smaller. But this allows you to basically have your alpha viewable. And so you're saying, oh, why isn't it showing up here? It's because of because it's this one. So if we basically just went here, because it's this one right here. So if we go here and go to here, it didn't refresh because of that. So now you have your logo there. I mean, you have your little background there. I would recommend something much colorful than actually this thing, like the one that was used around here. I would use something like that. And so, as you see, um, let's just say, oh, you want to show off everything there. You can just turn those off, and you can see your whole screen. But with this enabled, I usually have this just for branding purposes. I mean, not branding, just to basically kind of make same things seem flowable. Because normally, when I have basically my OBS set up, I have something that has the background of that has basically this background part on there, and it's flat to the image. So when I put something on there, I usually do something like this. And the one that sits on top of there, if it sits on top of there, and this ever got minimized like this one did, you would see it. You would see it. So for example, this would be put down below here, ideally. And so with basically something like this, which is just a border, it basically makes this part looks kind of seamless. But normally, and then this will be on top. But so now this is just how this one's set up, and as you can see, over here is vertical. And if you wanted to set up something like the vertical, you have to do the same exact steps, but you gotta do the same exact steps, but inside of there. So also, you go to here, you go to here, and I didn't think I know why it's not showing up. So the reason overlay is not showing up because I didn't do here. Like, you should loop this too, and so press OK. So when that's looped, they both are on, and it will look like that. The reason why it disappeared because it wasn't set to loop. And now that's how I set up my little icon with my stuff. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.